Hey, this is a nice crowd. It grew just when I wasn't looking. My name is Bryan Harrison. I'm the publisher of Mountain House Matters, the local community newspaper. You probably know about that. Hopefully you get a copy every month in your mail. The better part of a decade ago, Mountain House started investigating becoming a city. I stumbled on an article that I wrote in 2015, I think it was March 2015, where Don Charlesworth, who's in the audience here today, went to the board of directors and lobbied for them to start investigating it. There was a committee, and then there was a full-fledged study done, and then finally in 2021 we filed the papers, and on September 14th of this past year, 2023, the LAFCO agency authorized approval of, by a unanimous vote of their board, approval of Mountain House's petition to become a city. The last step in that whole equation is for the voters to approve. So in order for Mountain House to actually become a city, which would become effective July 1st of this year, we have to have a simple majority approval vote in the voting on March 5th. That on your ballot is Measure D. I'm going to read for you, not Measure D. We have Measure D that is, are we going to be a city? If that gets approved, then Mountain House can become a city. If it doesn't get approved, all of this is for naught. So a lot of people spend a lot of time and money trying to make it happen. There's been studies done, and the thing that really nailed it for me is the comprehensive fiscal analysis that LAFCO did demonstrated that it's a smart idea for Mountain House to become a city. So in my view, Measure D. So Measure D will be on your ballot to approve that. And then you'll also be asked to address Measure E. Measure E is about what form of governance we are going to undertake. Right now we work as an at-large voting block. So everybody in town votes for everybody who's running. The state of California has been moving to have districts do a by-district voting or a from-district voting. So we have on our ballot, Measure E will give us those options. A by-district election means only the people who live in a particular district may run for a seat on the city council to represent that district. Only the voters of that district may vote for a city council representative for that district. The individual elected is the city council representative for that district. Our school district is doing something very similar to this. You can ask Lisa Boulay about that. She's on the board of the school board of trustees. And they're having to formulate what those districts look like. It's not by village because there's more villages than you'll have districts. But it's similar to that. So that's the by district. The second option on your ballot, Measure E is going to have three options. You're going to have by district, from district, or at large. The from district is, a from district election means only the people who live in a particular district may run for a seat on the city council to represent that district. However, voters of the entire city may vote for all city council members running for election. The individual elected is the city council representative for that district. You understand the distinction there? And the other one is at large. An at-large election means that anyone who lives in the city may run for a seat on the city council without regard to district boundaries. Voters of the entire city may vote for all the city council members running for the election. The individuals elected are the city council representatives for the entire city. So it comes down to, how do we want to be governed? And it's nice that it's up to us to make that decision. I've been curious as to whether the government is going to allow us to be at large if that's what wins, because they really want districts to go by district. But that's another fight for another day. Measure E will be about which way we're going to govern. The only other thing to discuss about this coming election is the decision was made that instead of having a 5-person board of directors like the CSD currently has, where the board elects their president internally every year, the voters are going to get to vote for a mayor. So we will vote for a mayor. It's not really a whole lot different than the president of the board. They'll be a member of the city council, and they will represent the people of Mountain House, kind of like the president does. Only it has a little more stature just because you're the mayor and it's the mayor speaking. So there is that. And then there will be 4 city council reps, so you have a total of 5 people, but 4 city council members you will vote for. You have 8 candidates running for that. We'll talk about that after a while. For now, let's move on. I don't want to stand here all day because my wife will tell me, you talk too long. The term of office for all candidates is 4 years. However, the mayor will be 4 years. On the city council race, you'll have 4 seats. The top 2 vote getters in this initial election will have a 4-year term. The 2 that get fewer votes will get just a 2-year term, so that in the future, everybody will have a 4-year term, but they'll be offset, so that you're not voting for 4 people every time. You want to have some consistency running fluid through the whole thing. And yes, one thing that was brought to my attention earlier that I didn't think about is this Measure E thing is not for this election. We are voting to decide for future elections how we want to do it. For now, we're still at large because that's how we've always done it. So just for that point of clarity. And with